The latest Creation Today show put up on YouTube has a special guest named John McKay, and he is the International Director of Creation Research in Australia. And they supposedly, him and Eric Covent and that British guy, had a lively discussion about geology and Noah's flood. And I just want to bring a few excerpts from it. I think it's worth checking out. So check these excerpts out.
Through Tennessee, and over there a few years ago I found some rocks with seashells and land plants all mixed together. And then I thought to myself, well, this is the Pennsylvanian rocks, and of course Pennsylvania is a place, not a millions of years of evolution. Right. I thought, well, I've seen these rocks before, and it was over in Wales many years ago. So what we did was follow this rock layer all around planet Earth, and I got our guide in England to take me back to Wales, to where we thought that quarry might be, and I said, that layer should be here somewhere, and sure enough, halfway up there was the layer with shells and plants in.
Wow.
So this layer actually covers more than 180 degrees of the Earth's surface. So if anybody's looking for evidence, not only of the creation of the shells and the plants, but the evidence of God's judgment at Noah's flood, wow, you can actually see it, folks. It's really out there, and it's rock solid.
The Pennsylvanian is basically the younger subsystem of the Carboniferous system. Got tongue-tied there. It basically lasted from about 320 to about 300 million years ago, and it is a somewhat common, you could say, age of rocks. There's many. It's very well known for its vertebrate and invertebrate life forms, and it's a very commonly found rock system. The fact that he found it in Britain is not surprising, because there are carnivorous rocks in Britain. I don't know if he's specific if this was Pennsylvania or not. He doesn't really say where these rocks were, but the fact that it has shells in it doesn't mean anything. Many rock layers have shells in them, and of course there was deposition in England at the time. There was deposition in America. There's no reason why there wouldn't be. So there's no reason to be surprised that you find Pennsylvanian or Carboniferous rocks in Wales.
About how secular geologists have changed the definitions of the rock layers, and you were talking about how those rock layers were originally defined and where the terms tertiary, quaternary.
No doubt about it, because we were in an Ordovician rock layer, and the Ordovisi people just lived on the border of England and Wales. And so when they first studied these, they named them after the local, whatever it was, right? Okay. So Ordovisi people, they're extinct, they're killed off, right? They named the rocks in honour of them because they included a few killed off extinct fossils. Wow. Don't you get the joke?
Okay.
Well, maybe you don't, but anyway. But it had nothing to do with millions of years, nothing to do with creation, and nothing to do with evolution. And basically the geologists have forgotten that deliberately, and now brought in the millions of years and evolution, and everybody thinks it's a fact, don't they, Paul?
Yes. Yeah, they're absolutely convinced that it's a fact. And
all right, now this point really confuses me. What is he trying to get at by saying that we name them after local things? I mean, the Pennsylvanian is named because it was found in Pennsylvania. The Mississippi is named because it was found in Mississippi. The Ordovician is named, well, probably because of what he said. How are geologists changing things? What is your point, dude? What are you getting at?
We looked at all the Aussie evidence, you know, those fascinating marsupials we have, and the fact that many of them are giants.
Wow.
And the evidence really shows good to bad to worse to Pensacola.
Hey, watch it now.
Sorry, but it's a degeneration from perfection rather than evolution from nothing to magnificent, right?
Okay, wait. Evolution is nothing too magnificent, and we see from perfection to destruction. What? Was he? This man teaches things to children. He is so completely wrong on everything about biological evolution, and yet he writes books for education. He's supposed to be an educator. He's supposed to know what he's talking about, and he thinks evolution is simply nothing to magnificent. That oh my gosh, this is such an old and antiquated idea of evolution. It's not even an idea of evolution. Evolution does not have a guiding principle. Evolution, wow. The guys here at Creation Day are happy. This is a special guest. This is someone who supposedly knows what he's talking about, and he's spouting this shit. Oh my God.
Like even just last night's report on the BBC shutting down opposition to the global warming position. And global warming, of course, is based on the concept that man is in charge and God isn't, and that's based on the concept that we got here naturally rather than by creation. So again, it goes back to the creation-evolution issue.
Global warming has nothing to do with the theory of evolution. If it's the data supporting global warming has nothing to do with the data supporting biological evolution. I guess his point is that we should just trust that God's in control, but the Earth is still experiencing changes because of what humans are doing, how humans are impacting the environment. Seriously, like, this was such a hard episode to get through, and there's still plenty more clips I gotta show you. Like, I'm starting to get frustrated just doing this little mini commentary at the end of each clip, because as I watch this stuff again, it's just, he's so stupid. So stupid.
Where about 15 years ago or so, a young man who owned a property was putting in a new dam, a big pond out there, I think you call them over here, that's right, yes. And anyway,
dinosaur.
He basically did, and the point you can make, folks, out of any of these millions of years is if Wollemi pine hasn't changed in 100 million years, it may as well give up trying to evolve.
What you just heard is, of course, the common creationist mantra that, for some reason, if a life form does not evolve drastically over the past couple million years, that somehow disproves science evolution, which is of course bullshit. I mean, there's plenty of examples of creatures that have not evolved substantially. Sharks, turtles, the coelacanth, his stupid little tree. I mean, very commonly well understood phenomena of biological evolution that apparently he thinks is an issue, which of course it's
not. For the coming school year, don't forget to prepare for non-Christian worldviews in the classroom. These 5 books by Dr. Hovind in the award-winning Creation Seminar Series Part 4 lies in the textbooks, now featuring Dr. Hovind's latest resource, Help, I'm Being Taught Evolution 1 and 2. In these books, students will find a great way to dialogue with their teachers about evolution. The book entitled, Are You Being Brainwashed? Is specially designed to help students quickly and effectively defend their faith from the attacks of evolutionism in public school classrooms. The gap theory debunks the unnecessary and misguided compromise that Christians sometimes make in inventing a gap between Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 1:2, allowing for millions of years to be inserted. And finally, Claws, Jaws, and Dinosaurs, with its emphasis on cryptozoology, is included in this limited time offer. To order this back-to-school package, go to creationstore.org.
The Lord enabled us to catch him in a wonderful trap, because he started out by saying 13 billion years ago or something. And I'd had a paper of his from 20 years early where he started out 15 billion years ago. And I said, isn't it wonderful? In 15 years, Professor Polkinghorne has aged 15 years and the universe is 1.5 billion years younger.
Science adapts to the evidence. What of it?
Time on the show. With all that evidence, what's the best evidence that the flood occurred?
That's it.
The Bible.
Chapter 7.
It really does come down to the Bible, but not only do we have God...